It's 10:47 p.m. the night before your move-out inspection, and you're staring at a wall that used to hold your grandmother's painting. 3 nail holes, small ones. The kind you didn't think about when you hung the frame 18 months ago because 18 months ago you weren't thinking about a landlord with a clipboard and a deduction sheet. Every hardware store within a 20-minute drive closed at 9. Your roommate already moved out. The security deposit is $2,200, and the lease has a line about wall damage that you definitely did not read carefully enough. So you're standing there in socks, phone in hand, typing how to fix nail holes without spackle into a search bar. At 11 at night, like 100,000 other people are doing in 100,000 other apartments tonight. And the answer that keeps coming up, the one your mom probably knows, the one your grandmother definitely knew, is toothpaste. And a little baking soda, if you want to do it right. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like something a college kid made up. But it works. Sort of. Under specific conditions. And the reason it works has nothing to do with magic and everything to do with what's actually sitting in that tube on your bathroom counter. My mom taught me this in 1998. Her mom taught her in a basement apartment in the 60s. And somewhere before that, it was just something people did without bothering to name it. It's not a hack. It's not a secret. It's the kind of knowledge that gets passed down in rental kitchens and college dorms and first apartments. The stuff your parents mention offhand while helping you move, then you forget about until 3 years later when you're the one with the clipboard problem. The reason this trick keeps resurfacing every 5 or 6 years, on TikTok, then on Instagram, then on whatever comes after Instagram, is that every new generation of renters hits the same panic moment and rediscovers the same tube of Colgate. It's not suppressed knowledge. Nobody's hiding it. It just lives in the cracks of ordinary life, handed sideways between roommates and aunts and the guy at work whose girlfriend used to manage apartments. And here's the part that makes it interesting to me. It keeps coming back because the mainstream alternative, actual wall spackle, requires a trip to a store. And stores close. And life happens at inconvenient times. And sometimes you just need something to work right now with what you already have in the next 90 seconds before you lose your nerve. Toothpaste fills that gap. It fills it imperfectly, it fills it temporarily, but it fills it. And for a specific kind of problem, on a specific kind of timeline, it fills it well enough. Squeeze a pea of plain white toothpaste onto a glass plate and leave it overnight. Come back the next day and you'll find a hard, chalky disc that flakes off with your fingernail. That's the whole trick. That's the entire secret. Toothpaste is mostly water, and when the water evaporates, what's left behind is a soft, dry solid that happens to be close in color to most interior paint. The ingredient doing the actual work is something called hydrated silica, or sometimes calcium carbonate, depending on the brand. These are mild abrasives. They're in the paste to scrub plaque off your teeth. But they also happen to be the same general family of minerals used in actual wall putty. Not identical, not as durable, but chemically in the neighborhood. When you push toothpaste into a nail hole and smooth it flush, the water soaks into the drywall around the edges, the minerals settle into the cavity, and over the next 4 to 6 hours, the whole thing hardens into a small, chalky plug. The color, if you used a plain white paste, matches flat white wall paint closely enough that a landlord doing a quick walkthrough from 5 feet away will miss it. That's the mechanism. There's no mystery. It's just evaporation and mineral deposition, the same thing that happens when a puddle dries on concrete and leaves a white ring behind. What you're doing is forcing that process into a nail hole on purpose. Baking soda changes the equation, but not the way most of the viral videos claim. You'll see people online say baking soda activates the toothpaste or makes it bond permanently. That's not what's happening. What's actually happening is that you're adding more solid material to the mix. Sodium bicarbonate is a fine white powder, and when you stir it into toothpaste at about a 1:2 ratio, you get a thicker, denser paste that shrinks less as it dries. Plain toothpaste on its own tends to pull back slightly as the water leaves. You fill the hole flush tonight, and by morning, there's a small dimple where the paste contracted. Baking soda reduces that shrinkage because there's more solid stuff packed into every square millimeter, so there's less empty space left behind when the water evaporates. It also speeds up the drying. A pure toothpaste fill takes 4 to 6 hours to harden enough to paint or sand. A toothpaste and baking soda mix is usually firm in 90 minutes and fully dry in 3 hours. That matters when your inspection is at 9 in the morning and you started at 11 at night. The other thing baking soda does is whiten the mixture. Some toothpaste formulas have a slight gray or bluish tint that shows up on a white wall in the wrong light. A generous pinch of baking soda pulls the final color closer to true flat white. Small thing. Matters more than you'd think under fluorescent hallway lighting with a property manager squinting at the wall. Here's where I have to be straight with you, because most of the internet isn't. This trick works for exactly one category of damage, and it fails everywhere else. It works on small nail holes, the kind a picture hook makes, maybe 1.5 millimeters across, maybe 2 millimeters deep. That's it. That's the whole use case. It does not work on screw holes, because those are too wide and the paste sinks in before it can set. It does not work on anchor holes, because those are usually dime-sized craters, and you'd need a tablespoon of paste that would crack as it dried. It does not work on dents, dings, or any damage that goes through the paper face of the drywall. It does not hold paint. If you try to paint over a toothpaste fill, the water in the paint rehydrates the minerals and the whole patch turns to mush. It will not last. 6 weeks from now, in a warm apartment. With normal humidity, the chalky plug will start to yellow, crack at the edges, and eventually fall out on its own. The next tenant, if they're paying attention, will see a small white dot where the paint doesn't quite match. This is a timing trick, not a repair. You are buying a window, maybe a week, maybe a month, long enough to pass an inspection and get your deposit back, and after that window closes, the wall goes back to being a wall with a nail hole in it. If you're okay with that trade, the trick is gold. If you wanted a real fix, you wanted spackle and $3 and an afternoon you didn't have, grab a tube of plain white paste, Colgate, Crest, the 2 for $1 tube at the gas station, doesn't matter, as long as it's not gel, not blue striped, not whitening. The blue and green stripes will bleed into the fill and leave a tint. Gel toothpastes don't have enough solid mineral content to harden properly, and whitening pastes sometimes contain peroxide that can discolor paint over time. Plain white paste, that's the rule. Squeeze about a pea-sized amount onto a clean plate or piece of foil. If you're doing the baking soda version, add roughly half as much baking soda as toothpaste and stir it together with the back of a spoon or the tip of a butter knife until it's a uniform thick paste, about the consistency of soft peanut butter. Too runny, add more baking soda. Too crumbly, add a drop of water. Take a clean fingertip or the flat edge of a plastic butter knife. Scoop up a small amount of the mixture and press it firmly into the nail hole. Push harder than you think you need to. You want the paste to fully fill the cavity, not just bridge the surface. Once the hole is packed, drag the flat of the knife across the wall in one smooth motion to scrape away any excess, and leave the fill perfectly flush with the surrounding paint. Wipe away any smears around the hole with a slightly damp cloth while the paste is still soft. Once it dries, it gets harder to clean up without leaving a dull spot on the paint. Walk away. Come back in 90 minutes if you used baking soda, 4 hours if you didn't. If the fill has shrunk back at all, add a second tiny layer and smooth it again. That's the entire process. No sanding needed for a hole this small. The knife scrape gives you a flush finish already. No painting needed. The color match is close enough for any reasonable walkthrough. If the lighting in your apartment is harsh, step back to where your landlord will actually be standing and look from that angle. That's the only view that matters. If you've got more than 48 hours before inspection, the whole calculation changes. Spackle is $3 for a small tub at any hardware store. It lasts 5 years in the container, it sands flush in 90 seconds, it takes paint properly, and the repair is permanent. There is no world where toothpaste is a better choice when you have time to buy spackle. None. The only reason toothpaste wins is time pressure. When the stores are closed, when you've got hours, not days, when the cost of driving 30 minutes is higher than the cost of a slightly imperfect fill. I want to be honest about that, because there's a whole genre of content online that dresses up emergency hacks like they're superior to real solutions, and they're not. They're compromises. They're the thing you do when the real thing isn't available. Respect the trick for what it is, a clever use of something you already own in a moment when options are thin, and don't try to turn it into a philosophy. If you're reading this at a reasonable hour on a weekday with a car in the driveway, close the tab, go buy spackle, do it right. If you're reading it at 10:47 on a Tuesday night with the inspection at 9 a.m. and no way to get to a store, you're exactly the person this trick was invented for, and it will probably save your deposit. Every renter figures this out eventually, usually the hard way, usually after losing a chunk of a deposit they really needed back. What I like about this particular piece of grandma knowledge is that it cuts against the way we normally think about home repair, which is that every problem has a specialized product, and the specialized product is always better. Sometimes the specialized product is better. Spackle is better than toothpaste, but sometimes you don't have the specialized product, and sometimes the kitchen cabinet version is 80% as good for the 45 minutes you actually need it, and knowing which tricks fall into that category is its own kind of skill. That's the stuff I want to keep digging into, the real. Fixes, honest about their limits, that generations of renters and homeowners figured out before the hardware store aisle got so crowded. If that's your kind of thing, stick around. Subscribe so the next one lands in your feed. And if you've got a cornered at midnight repair story of your own, the weird thing that actually worked, the hack your grandmother swore by, drop it in the comments. I read them, and half the scripts on this channel start as comments from people who already figured something out the hard way.